What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, finally back with another video. I do apologize for the time off there. Had to take a break there, go to vacation with my family in Florida. Weather was perfect, couldn't have asked for a better time. With deep sea fishing, caught a shark. I mean, about the best week I could have, honestly. You know, obviously sometimes you need a little bit of a break, take a minute, get away from behind the chair, refresh your mind, refresh your body, and that's exactly what happened. Had a blast. Today's video, guys, is going to be more of a unboxing and a review. We're going to do the Gamma E-Ergo X. This thing came in yesterday, guys, and I am stoked that it finally made its way to me. You guys know I love the Ergos. It's the only clipper that I actually use. I've got the original Ergo with the ceramic cutting blade and the Andy's Master taper blade, which is a lethal combination, you guys. I think I've done a video on this one. Just the original Ergo, Andy's Master taper blade, ceramic cutting blade, and this thing is quiet as can be. Fits obviously the Andy's purple guards, and this thing just cuts like butter. And then my other one is the Rogue, and this thing, I will say, has definitely more power, I feel like, than what the original Ergo does. So we'll see if it compares to the actual X-Ergo. It's got a taper blade on here, guys. But this thing, obviously, that's what the Ergos are all about. They're extremely quiet clippers. So here it is, and like I said, I'll do some videos of some unboxing there. First impressions and stuff like that. Quiet, powerful. Gamma sent the taper blade with them, so we'll see how that goes. We ended up putting the stretch bracket on. So I've got a clipper that opens all the way up, and then I've got another Ergo that is zero gap. So hopefully we can use that to have that full range of all the way closed, taking out bottom lines through, you know, a full, you know, almost one guard. So stick around, guys. Ergo X, here we go. Alright, guys, let's jump right into it. We're going to cut this box open. Never mind my technique, guys. Don't ever try to cut a box open with one hand while holding the camera in the other hand. So just disregard that. Let's get into the box. First thing that I got is a little receipt showing what all was in there. And then one thing that was on top was a little booklet here. It gives a lot of color and detail, talking about the different tools that StyleCraft and Gamma offer. So you got your Uno, you got the Prodigy shaver, you have the Ergo, you got the Protege, the Absolute Hitter. So it kind of goes through there, it talks a little bit about them. It's a really cool booklet, very well put together. Here's a cape that they threw in just for fun. Appreciate that. And then here it is, guys. Of course, it came upside down, so we had to flip it over, and it's upside down again. Here it is, guys. Here is the Gamma Plus X-Ergo that we've all been waiting on. And there it is, guys. So it comes like it typically does with all the other Ergos. It's going to come with your clipper with one casing already on it. It comes with two extra colors, rose gold and gold. And then it has the dock there. And so I was pulling it out. These are literally my first impressions, my first time. I didn't even care where that guard cover went. I was really just trying to, my very initial reaction to it, just kind of look it over. One thing that I was surprised by, I don't know why I thought differently. I thought maybe it was going to come with that the X Fusion blade that they've been putting on the, I believe it is the Alpha. But it didn't. It actually came with their taper blade, which is fine with me, because you guys know that I use taper blades. So that was, you know, more than fine with me. I just wasn't sure which blade I was expecting it to come with. So this little piece of paper here, guys, I believe basically just kind of talks about the stretch bracket versus the standard bracket and how it affects the opening and closing of the actual clipper, as far as the length in which you can reach versus being closed and being open with the standard versus the stretch. It's kind of just a quick little rundown showing you some of those measurements.
and it shows 4 different pictures, but I think that's because there's one in each. There's like 4 different languages that they have it in. So that's basically what that is, guys. Here is the dock that it come with. I did not get my StyleCraft dock and compare them side by side to see if there was one that felt more quality than the other. I basically just left my StyleCraft one on the station, and the Gamma X-Ergo fit right into it, so I may just leave it like that. Now, what I was doing here, guys, I was just kind of turning it on, checking the blade, seeing how they sent it, if they sent it 0 gaps, and then I turn it on, just kind of trying to get a feel for a comparison in power between my current ergos and this one. I believe it's closer power-wise to my Rogue, which is more powerful than my original ergo. So my original ergo with the master blade, it's powerful, of course. All the ergos are powerful, but my Rogue was even more powerful. So it's kind of right there with that. I didn't notice like a huge jump in power even above that. So you guys could tell there, it came with the gold and the rose gold housing cases for the outside, your charging cord, a magnetic small screwdriver there. That is good for taking off and changing out the face plates and the actual body. It comes with the silver and the black front cover, and then of course there's a clear one on the clipper right now. Your gold and your silver lever if you want to change those out, and then the stretch bracket comes in the package. It does not come on the clipper. And then they did send out their new guard system, their new guards, which are double magnets. They fit on pretty well. The magnets, they did what they were supposed to do. They held on. Once I put them on and snapped it into place, they did not move around up or down, side to side. That's what I'm testing out here. Will they replace my Wahl premium guards? No. But if you don't have Wahl premium guards, you just have maybe just the standard basic level Wahl guards, then I could see these possibly replacing those. I believe it came with a half, a 0, a half, 1, 1.5, I think. Is that right? Yeah. No, 0, yeah. Half, 0, 1, 1.5, and then up through a 6 guard. So you would have a decent little guard system there if you needed to, but I don't think that I'm gonna fully just throw to the side my Wahl premium guards. Here I was just kind of checking the way they fit, just to kind of test them out, making sure that the blades didn't rub up against the guards at all when it was open or closed, just things of that nature. And then now what I'm going to go ahead and do here in a sec is actually change out for the stretch bracket. So the first thing I always do whenever I'm going to take off my blades, I usually take off the lever on the side first, and then what I'll do is remove the two screws that hold the blade in place. And once I do that, make sure that you do apply a little bit of pressure, resistance pressure, on the blade, because especially on these ergos, there's a 2-prong system that pushes out on that cutting blade, and that's where that tension and that power comes from. So you're going to have to, when you're removing the blade, keep a little tension on there so that blade just doesn't fly off. And then of course when you go to replace the blade, you're going to want to put pressure on there to make sure you get it set back in place. Basically all you do, take the lever off, take the blade, the steel blade off, the bracket just slides out of its little slots off both sides. You can slide the new bracket in, which we put the stretch bracket on. I put the lever back in place, and then put the blade on, hold it in place, tighten these screws down. Don't do it all the way. You want to leave it loose enough to where you can adjust it for how open or how closed you want it. If you want it 0 gapped, if you don't want it 0 gapped, leave the screws just loose enough to where you can still do it, but not too loose to where it's a constant battle trying to keep them in place. Once you get them down where you like it, I usually like to make sure that my lever is fairly tight so that it doesn't move when I'm adjusting everything. And once I finally get that blade in place, go ahead and tighten them down a little bit tighter. And you don't have to torque on them or anything like that, because that could also make the blade adjust and move out of place too. So just hand tight, and you should be good to go. So you guys could tell there, basically what I was trying to do was put a finger on both sides of the blade. I wanted to see if I could feel the blade higher on one side or the other. I couldn't, so I felt like we were good to go. I always like to close the clipper all the way up and test it on my arm, similar to what we would do as barbers with a trimmer, because that's also a really good way to determine whether or not you have your clippers closed too much, if there's a tooth or two that is hanging over. Last thing we want to do as barbers is cut our clients, of course. So one thing to notice here, guys, there are 4 screw holes in the original bracket that comes on your X-Ergo. The reason for that, the 2 outside holes are where your Wahl blades come from. You can use all the Wahl blades, I'm pretty sure, on those 2 outside blade holes. The 2 inside blade holes, those are where I'm able to use the master blade or the Oster fast feed blade, because those 2 holes come pre-drilled into the bracket that comes on the X-Ergo. Then of course if you switch it to the stretch bracket, there aren't the extra 2 holes, but you can always go back to the original one that come on there and make the modification if you would like. Now basically what I'm doing here, guys, I'm not trying to do a tutorial. It's basically just showing you some of the clips of me coming up through here. The one thing that I've always liked about the Ergo, I don't feel like you have to make so many passes through a section to get it clean. There are some clippers I feel like you could run a no guard with the blade wide open up through there, and you could look to the side and you're going to see all these little hairs left on there that are cut unevenly, and you'll have to go through a certain section over and over and over again to make sure that it's even. With the Ergos, I feel like they just have so much power, they just cut so clean that it takes so many less passes through one particular area or over a particular section to get it down to that desired length and a nice even blend. So that's one thing, especially even on this X-Ergo, that I've noticed so far. It has continued on with that same trend. That was just the open section we did. We did that stretch bracket fully open, about a full inch, finger's width or so, and then we faded it down using that lever halfway open, going about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that section. Then we closed it up all the way. It took out that bottom line. So that's what I like. You've gone all the way from a closed clipper, taking out that detailer line at the bottom, all the way up through an open section, and you don't even have a guard on yet. You got a nice blend there to start this fade out. Alright guys, I already know it's going to happen, so I'll get to it before you do it. Roast me all you want, guys, for the camera going in and out of focus. It's my first video back from vacation, guys. It's so funny how fast you can forget to do the simple stuff. I didn't hit lock on focus, so it kept focusing in and out on whatever was closest and clear to it. Every time my arm would get in the way, it seems like it would always go out of focus. So that's on me, guys. I will get back into the groove of it, I promise. I'm back. That's the end of this tutorial, guys. Make sure you take a second, hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you guys thought about the unboxing and my interpretation of the new Gamma X-Ergos that have been highly anticipated, guys. Here it is, going into the StyleCraft dock that I currently already had. Lights turning on blue, guys. Hit me up, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, consider subscribing if you're new, enable those notifications, that way you never miss another video from me, guys. Back at it, try and do it every Sunday and every Wednesday, guys, so it's a lot of content coming. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll catch you in the next one.